is in charge? Are you running Venezuela right now?
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes, but the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States. This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion. This is not an extended military operation. This is a very precise operation that involved a couple of hours of action. It was a very delicate operation, too.
Who is in charge? Are you running Venezuela right now?
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes, but the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States.
How soon will elections be held? Within 30 days, Mr. Secretary?
Elections? Well, look, this is a country that's been governed by this regime now for 14 or 15 years. The elections should have happened a long time ago. The elections did happen. They lost them, and they didn't count the votes, or they refused to count the votes, and everyone knows it. So all of that, I think, is premature at this point. There's a lot of work to be done here. Right now, what we are focused in, let's be realistic here, what we are focused on right now is all of the problems we had with when Maduro was there. We still have those problems in terms of them needing to be addressed. We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things until the things we need to see addressed are addressed. Because ultimately, above everything else, we care about elections, we care about democracy, we care about all of that. But the number one thing we care about is the safety, security, well-being, and prosperity of the United States. Maria Corina Machado is fantastic, and she's someone I've known for a very long time, and that whole movement is. But we are dealing with the immediate reality. The immediate reality is that unfortunately, and sadly, but unfortunately, the vast majority of the opposition is no longer present inside of Venezuela. We have short-term things that have to be addressed right away. We all wish to see a bright future for Venezuela, a transition to democracy. All of these things are great, and we all want to see that. I've worked on that for 15 years on a personal level, both in the Senate and now as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. These are things I still care about, we still care about. But what we're talking about is what happens over the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, and how that ties to the national interest of the United States. And so we expect to see more compliance and cooperation than we were previously receiving. With Nicolás Maduro, you could not make a deal or an arrangement.
White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair that an attack on Venezuela's mainland would require approval from Congress. Why didn't that happen, and will it happen with any future action the administration plans to take in Venezuela or elsewhere?
This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion. This is not an extended military operation. This is a very precise operation that involved a couple of hours of action. It was a very delicate operation, too.
A group of Republican lawmakers is breaking ranks with Trump over the Venezuela strikes, questioning legality, constitutionality, and escalation risks. They are openly challenging the White House. Not all Republicans are cheering the Venezuela operation. A vocal minority is raising sharp questions about war powers, legal authority, and where this could lead. Congressman Thomas Massie is among the strongest critics. He argues the strikes and the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro stretch constitutional limits. Massie questions why the administration relies on old statutes and unrelated indictments, saying if the case were solid, it wouldn't need legal gymnastics. Marjorie Taylor Greene also breaks ranks. She says the operation contradicts anti-intervention promises made to voters. Greene questions why similar force isn't used elsewhere, arguing Americans were promised an end to foreign wars, not new ones. Senator Rand Paul, a longtime opponent of military escalation, warns the strikes risk dragging the U.S. into a broader conflict. Paul has repeatedly pushed for congressional approval, calling previous actions extrajudicial and cautioning against unchecked executive power. Congressman Don Bacon raises a different concern: precedent. He warns U.S. actions could be cited by Russia or China to justify similar operations. While acknowledging potential regional impacts, Bacon signals discomfort with the global message being sent. Senator Mike Lee initially questioned the constitutional basis for the strikes before softening his stance after a classified briefing. Others, including Senator Lisa Murkowski, had earlier supported efforts to limit unauthorized military action. Still, these voices remain in the minority. Republican leadership largely backs the operation, calling it decisive and necessary. Democrats, meanwhile, broadly condemn the strikes as illegal without congressional approval, deepening the partisan divide. What's clear, the Venezuela operation has triggered not just global backlash, but a rare Republican rebellion over war powers at home.
The year of the horse, if we're riding. The perfect union has emerged. Tested at all times, always victorious, and at full speed.
Just a day before U.S. strikes rocked Venezuela and Nicolás Maduro was captured by American forces, China's top envoy to the region was meeting him face-to-face in Caracas. That meeting, held Friday at Miraflores Palace, is now believed to be Maduro's final engagement as Venezuela's president. Leading the Chinese delegation was Qi Xiaoqi, Beijing's special representative for Latin American and Caribbean affairs, joined by China's ambassador to Venezuela and senior officials. Maduro welcomed the envoy warmly. "I thank President Xi Jinping for his brotherhood," he said, calling Xi a strong leader for the world. Standing beside him was Vice President and Oil Minister Delcy Rodriguez, a reminder that energy and economics were at the center of the talks. According to Venezuelan officials, the meeting focused on strengthening what they called a new multipolar world order, one less dependent on Washington. Caracas described its partnership with Beijing as unwavering, especially in the face of what it calls unilateral coercive measures imposed by the United States. China has not released its own official readout, but Venezuelan officials said Qi Xiaoqi reaffirmed that China and Venezuela are strategic partners to the test. But within hours, the political ground shifted dramatically. Early Saturday, the United States launched strikes across Venezuela, and Nicolás Maduro was arrested by U.S. personnel. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio later declared on social media that Maduro is no longer the president of Venezuela, formally marking the end of his rule.
And here, within its borders, the heart of the nation, the country itself, is truly experiencing a profound and absolute state of complete tranquility, a serene and undisturbed peace that pervades every corner. They've tried this. And they maybe thought that the people would come out defeated. And that's not what's happening. So we're all here, we'll be here all night.
In the face of this vile and cowardly attack that threatens the peace and stability of the region, we raise the strongest denunciation before the international community and all multilateral organizations so that the U.S. government is condemned for its flagrant violation of the United Nations Charter and international law. This invasion represents the greatest outrage the country has ever suffered, driven by the insatiable greed for our strategic resources. Far from any supposed fight against narco-terrorism, this deplorable action seeks to definitively force a regime change and subject us to the spurious designs of North American imperialism, trampling on the inalienable right to self-determination for which our liberators fought and which we are now called to defend with the same dignity. They have attacked us, but they will not break us. United soldiers and people, we will form an indestructible wall of resistance. Our profound calling is peace, but our enduring heritage is the constant struggle for true freedom. We who always extend our hand in genuine brotherhood, today resolutely clench our mighty fist in steadfast defense of what is rightfully ours. Let us unite, for in the unity of the people we will find the strength to resist and to triumph. In the midst of this imperial onslaught, I make a fervent call for serenity and reason, to maintain unity and calm, and in compliance with the Constitution of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the Organic Law on States of Exception, and the Organic Law of National Security, we fully support the decree of a state of external commotion throughout the national territory. Consequently, the men and women of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, following the instructions of citizen Nicolás Maduro Moros, constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, our commander-in-chief, will deploy all our capabilities for the comprehensive defense of the nation, the restoration of order and peace. Therefore, we will activate across the entire spectrum of the National Geographic space and in perfect popular military police unity, the full operational readiness through the massive deployment of all land, air, naval, riverine, and missile resources. Advanced weapon systems are absolutely essential for a truly comprehensive national defense, with the primary purpose of ensuring the seamless integration of all the vital elements of national power in the critical mission to effectively confront and decisively overcome all imperial threats, thereby forming a single, unified, and formidable combat bloc. Our profound honor, unwavering duty, and rich history profoundly call upon each and every one of us to act now. Let the powerful cry of a truly free homeland resound loudly and clearly in every single corner of our beloved nation. Victory is absolutely ours because unwavering reason and profound dignity are firmly on our side. We shall most certainly prevail. Long live the homeland.
That makes Friday's meeting with China not just symbolic, but historic. It was the final diplomatic appearance of a leader Washington now says has been removed from power. The timing is critical. China's show of support came as Russia also voiced solidarity with Caracas, condemning U.S. actions and backing Venezuela amid heightened military pressure in the Caribbean. Washington says its strikes and naval operations are part of a campaign against alleged drug trafficking networks, the so-called Cartel de los Soles, which U.S. officials claim is linked to Maduro's government. Venezuela has long denied those accusations. In that final appearance on Friday, Maduro insisted the door to dialogue with Washington remained open. He said Venezuela was willing to talk with the Trump administration about combating drug trafficking and even about opening its vast oil reserves to U.S. investment. But he issued a warning: no extortion. If they want to seriously discuss an agreement to combat drug trafficking, we're ready. And if they want oil, Venezuela is ready for investment, whenever they want, wherever they want. Less than 24 hours later, Maduro was gone. One thing is now clear: that Friday meeting was not just diplomacy. It was the final chapter of Nicolás Maduro's presidency and a moment that may reshape the global balance of power.